Hello, Internet. So we are back on r/politics. And I did not mean to depress you guys with my utopian intro where we all get de radicalized and we can all just have civil discussion and live together in peace. But, that's probably never going to happen. So that is why we're going on r/politics to get more of a wake up call on how more or less the world works, because it definitely is not as easy as waking up one day and realizing that you are basically a victim of an endless barrage of propaganda. But anyway, let's get right to the posts. And quickly, before we begin, I do look at the subreddit every single day, basically like 3 or 4 times a day. So keep posting on there, and hopefully one day I will figure out how to interact with that. And I have not my Discord in the link in the description, so definitely do not join that because it is not my Discord. But anyway, let's get going. We've been underestimating the scale of women's fury, 9,000 upvotes. I'm a man who almost watched his wife die the day she had a miscarriage. No single event has energized me more than that day. I watched her son die, and due to the draconian laws in Texas, they wouldn't perform an abortion for the placenta that was left in my wife's uterus. They forced her to go through labor for a piece of tissue. She bled for hours and she needed to be resuscitated all after our baby died in the fucking triage toilet, whatever. I'll never forgive Republicans for this. I've voted, I've canvassed, and I've donated thousands this year to Democrats. All of these things still feel insufficient to my rage. I have never been more furious. Now, you will always find an extreme story where the laws and, the events that should have been in place just didn't work out. I'm not entirely sure how they do things in Texas or, what hospital they were at or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's these, few instances and 63 million kids. And keep in mind, I do want people who have some type of medical, occurrence to actually be able to get the actual healthcare, which isn't just nuking my child out of my body out of my own convenience. But at the end of the day, it's not necessarily Republicans who voted for this. I don't think they wanted your, wife or child to, go through this. And like I said, at the end of the day, 63 million and way less instances of this considering the modern technology that we have. So I know what I would pick. And then obviously push for better systems in the future to prevent tragedies like this from happening. But no, let's take the most radical stance and blah, 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 Insane. This is a reality in our country. My heart breaks every time I hear these stories. How inhuman are the legislators to also hear them and do nothing? Y'all deserved better. How inhuman is it that we live in a world where we have abortion buses, but y'all didn't seem to complain about that when that was happening? And still probably does, considering it's just state by state now. But like I said, I think, these processes should be expedited, especially if anyone's life is at risk. So don't get me wrong on that. You used to be able to give Reddit gold to mark a truly noteworthy post. You can't do that anymore, so here goes. Everybody read the guy's fucking heartbreaking post and then get your ass out and vote. Read this guy's anecdote and change your whole perspective on this issue, is what he's actually saying.
No, the bloodthirsty GOP did that. Normal folks have not stopped being angry since they overturned Roe v. Wade.
Yes, let's blame all the GOP instead of the Democrats who changed their messaging from, what was it, like safe but rare, to anytime, anywhere, for any reason. 1 in 8 women say they've secretly voted differently than partners. And I like, what is this? This looks almost AI. What the fuck is this? Is this an actual photo? Anyway, 14,000 upvotes. How sad is this that they have to hide who they are voting for from their husbands? Jesse Waters says it's the equivalent to having an affair. Alright, well, that's obviously ridiculous. MAGAs for the last 8 years. Why won't young women date conservatives? Can't they handle disagreement? Snowflakes. MAGAs today. My wife disobeying me with her vote is adultery. Bro, I've been on r/2x chromosomes, alright? I know how many relationships have ended just because they found out that their friend or, partner voted for Trump. It goes both ways, sister. The number of angry, lonely conservative dudes is only going to continue to grow, which is hilarious but also concerning because those are the exact kind of losers that become terrorists. I don't see many lonely conservative dudes joining Antifa, but alright. Nazi occultists. Proud Boys, the Klan. Oh my god, are we still mentioning the Klan in 2024? Al Qaeda, ISIS, etc. It's all the same playbook. Find weak, vulnerable, angry losers and redirect their self hatred towards the target of your choosing by telling them all of their problems can be traced back to the Jews, infidels, women, etc. These are the same people who exclude any straight white man or conservative from any of their groups, and then they complain about radicalization like, I told you guys, this is exactly what happens. Now, obviously, most of them aren't joining the fucking Klan or Al Qaeda or ISIS or whatever, Proud Boys, Nazis. Like, these are all really small groups. But they fail to realize that they're the reason they fucking exist. Well, I guess Al Qaeda and ISIS would exist, like, exclusive to that, but you know what I mean. That jazz musician, Daryl Davis, converted hundreds of Klan members and leaders just by having conversations with them and talking to them, which is all the evidence I need, to be honest, to demonstrate that talking to people and actually hearing them out is exactly how you de-radicalize them. But these people just fucking delete them from their subreddits and, create echo chambers. So they don't actually want to be a part of the solution. They just want to fucking scream and shout at the problem. I was canvassing for Harris campaign in my battleground state. Woman was registered independent. Husband was not listed in DB, which means he's registered Republican. Woman answers, quietly shuts the door behind her. Husband in the background hears through open window where he's just looking through the window, listening to a conversation like, ooh. We're Harris canvassers, and literally starts raging like an alcoholic who just came home from being at the bar all night. Came to tell us to get the fuck off his property. Woman apologized. We said no worries and sorry. I felt so bad for her, but I have a sneaking suspicion that she's voting Harris. Oh yeah, that totally fucking happened. What? This account was made like a year ago, maybe a little bit more, and has 100,000 karma. Bro's farming like it's fucking Wrath of the Lich King out here. Oh, this was like a month ago. MAGA bros are freaking out because so many women are voting. 26,000 upvotes. It amazes me how these so-called alpha males are so afraid of women being equal and having control of their own decisions and bodies. Oh, here we go. It's my body. Just get this thing out of me. I promise you, it's not a child. It's because they aren't alphas. No matter how many times they call themselves alphas, they really are just scared, fragile men full of anger and hate. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I have not heard a single person IRL actually call themselves an alpha or online that wasn't just trolling or Andrew Tate. Like, nobody actually believes this shit. And most of the guys who I see on these like podcasts who say they are 10,000% grifting. And I don't use that word lightly. There's a lot of people who use that word incorrectly. But the alpha male fucking movement is 10,000% a grift. And anyone who does believe it are just super insecure fucking men who have deep personal issues that they need to get over. So we should certainly show people who obviously have problems more sympathy than just, I don't know, shitting on them constantly. Because shitting on people really doesn't do anything for them, let's be honest. Sure, it's funny, but it's not very productive at all. They're upset that women are reacting to their open discussions about taking women's rights away, like their ability to vote. It's almost like these misogynists are fucking morons as well. What's this legislation that's gonna take women's rights away to vote? What political figure is actually saying this? There's a growing body of evidence from neuroscience and psychology research indicating that privilege stunts the brain. If you aren't frequently held accountable for your actions, you never learn you can't behave in antisocial ways. If you're always held to a lower standard, you never learn to put in effort. If you solve every problem with money, you never learn to live without that particular solve, or figure out another way to get that need met. Hack together a solution, adapt, try something different, or realize you didn't actually need the specific solution that you initially thought of. When reciprocity is never required, you never grow out the childish entitlement. When you never have to take responsibility for the consequences of your actions, you can deflect the negative outcomes onto the people without any power. Life never stops being childhood. It's all a game. You never have to live with the consequences. Privilege keeps people trapped in the early teen years, cognitively and emotionally. The privilege referred to here is primarily socioeconomic, but also includes race and gender. My comment is primarily meant to describe the effects on those born wealthy, not so much MAGA, although white privilege and male privilege are factors there as well. Yeah, so I was about to actually say this exact same thing. Like, isn't the MAGA voters, aren't they essentially now being like bullied for being the working class and uneducated, etc., etc.? And then he obviously threw in the white privilege and male privilege thing, as if poor white and males can't exist. Like, this is why psychology and shit is now a soft science, if you can even call it a science. It's been so heavily politicized that I can't really take any of these studies or abstractions at face value, which is why I'm going to be having my PhD friend who is quite knowledgeable about how they do research and stuff probably break down a lot of this on our live streams that we're going to be having. And I'm going to be live streaming daily, hopefully. I've got a lot of fun old games to show you guys, and hopefully we can do like community events, so that's definitely going to happen. I just need to move the fuck out of here. I have so many boxes back there, you guys can't see it, but they're all the way over there. Wait till they hear men are also voting Harris. You guys had a whole white dudes for Harris movement. Don't start telling me that you guys aren't begging for the support of white men, or men in general, to be honest, especially young men. They hate women so much they can't even grasp that some of us don't. It's honestly so fucking creepy. Oh, trust me, we know how the women voting demographics go. Trust me on that. But I think Gen Z women reportedly like voted much higher for Trump than they have ever. So take this L as well, I guess. All right, we'll make this the last one. And I think I covered this in one of my other videos, but I just love coming back to this. After Trump's win, some women are considering the 4B movement. And one of my commenters actually told me what this is because I didn't know, but it's apparently some Korean movement. The B's are some Korean words or whatever. But it's basically complete abstinence from interacting or any activity with men. Often overlooked in the 4B movement was the boycotting of beauty products. We live in a capitalist society. Gotta tie your social revolution to an economic defect, or it won't get attention from our ruling class. To that end, I believe 6-4BT. Holy shit, we're turning into the LGBT fucking long-ass acronym, which evolved from 4B, is the more effective / comprehensive strategy. It has more things that will hurt the bottom line for the wealthy. I don't mean to burst y'all's bubble, but I think a lot of the makeup and cosmetic brands are woman-owned, so you guys are really going to run into a conundrum there. All right, I'm going to leave this here so you guys can read it, but I'm not even going to try to read all this out loud, sorry. I see that one of the 6B4T commitments is to avoid misogynistic brands, so I ask, which brands are not misogynistic? Can we point out the brands that are misogynistic first? How do we classify a misogynistic makeup brand? You know they sell to women, right? A majority of white women voters voted Trump. It's amazing how white women can be conservative and hate DEI and be primary beneficiary of affirmative action. The American people are a joke. This statement alone is so telling. They're like, the racism is helping them. Why are they against it? Like, are you fucking retarded? Sorry, I guess in that case it's not racism, it's sexism, but still. Frankly, I don't know how a liberal and a conservative could possibly maintain a relationship in the current environment. We've gone far beyond disagreements on taxes and foreign policy. How can we love someone who thinks you are inferior? And there, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly the problem. Who wants to hurt innocent people for no justifiable reason? Yes, all conservatives think everyone who isn't is inferior, and all they want to do is hurt innocent people for no reason. When you have messaging like this, who the fuck are your friends? God, we are so fucking cooked. I swore I'd never fuck a conservative after Bush was reelected, and I've stuck to that. These short-sighted fuck wrinkles keep listening and being conned by men that are stupid, puppeteered, and leave our economy in shambles. Not one conservative president in my lifetime has ever left the country better than they found it. So can you remind me what conflicts we were left with Biden again? Let me think. Oh yeah, all of them. Conservative men are already talking about raping us all over social media? Bro, okay, as someone who's terminally online, where? And laughing about how liberal women are all whales who would want to fuck them anyway, etc. I'm a liberal woman in dating sites. My profile advertises this. Conservative men still try their damnedest with me and then talk about how no one would ever fuck me when I turn them down. It's the same shit over and over, tiring. Well, aren't you kind of like, self reporting that you're the closed minded one in this situation? Like, how do these people not realize that? Like, oh my God. How many times do I have to read the same goddamn post over and over? Oh, yeah, that's right. Anyone who disagrees with them will either get downvoted or have their post removed by a moderator. So, shit's just never going to change. But anyway, we have someone who has finally made it to the based god tier. So let's give a little round of applause to them. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. And thank you to all my other patrons. Like I said, the longer you stay subscribed, I will keep bumping you up the ranks. But anyway, like, comment, subscribe, join the Not My Discord down in the description, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Peace.